Hello everybody, how are you? Today we are going to talk about past perfect. Past perfect is used to talk about an action which happened before another action in the past. In other words, we are talking about two actions and both of them happened in the past. For example, Mom had baked a cake before the party started. The first thing that happened is that Mom baked cake. After that, the party started. Here we have two actions. The first action is going to be expressed in past perfect. And the second action is going to be expressed in simple past. Yes, and we have just one sentence. So both actions are expressed in one sentence, but the first one that happened is in the past perfect and the second one it is in the simple past. Also, we use the past perfect to talk about an action which happened before a started time in the past. To express this, we use by the time or by plus a specific time. In this case, I have by plus a specific time, by 7 o'clock. And I have Lenny had done his homework by 7 o'clock. Imagine that Lenny has been working since 5 o'clock, and when 7 o'clock arrived, Lenny had done his homework. In other words, he had completed his homework by 7 o'clock. And 7 o'clock is in the past because now maybe is another time. So we can use by 7 o'clock, by plus a specific time. Also, we can use by the time, the expression by the time if we don't want to be very specific. The form of past perfect is, first of all, we need the verb had. This is going to be our auxiliary, plus past participle of the verb. In the regular verbs, our past participle is going to end in ed. In the irregular verbs, usually is the third column of our list of verbs. So, to express something in past perfect, we need these two elements. One more time, the verb had as an auxiliary plus the past participle of the verb. Some common expressions, some time expressions we use in the past perfect are just, already, when, by, and by the time, or by plus a specific time. You can use by plus a specific time or by the time. We are going to see some examples. Here we have two sentences. The first one, we arrived. The second one, the party started. What we are going to do is to join both sentences in only one using when. For that, we need to decide which action in the past took place first and which took place second. And yes, obviously, the party started first, then we arrived. Let's see how we are going to join these two sentences in only one using when and the past perfect. When we arrived, that is the second, the party had started. That is the first action. When we arrived, the party had started. As you can see, the first action is expressed in past perfect, and the second action is expressed in simple past. When we arrived, the party had started. In this case, we may also change the positions. We can say the party had started when we arrived. There is no problem. But when this clause when is at the beginning, we have to divide using a comma. But when you change the positions, the comma is not going to be necessary. Let's go and see more examples. We reached the railway station. The train left. Now we are going to use by the time. For that, we need to decide which actions in the past took place first and which took place second. Let's see. Yes, the train left is the first action. We reached the railway station is the second action. Now let's join these two sentences in only one using the past perfect and by the time. By the time we reached the railway station, the train had left. The same as the previous one, we are expressing the first action in the past perfect and the second action in the simple past. We have more. Now we are going to use just. Here for just we have also two sentences. It stopped raining. We took our dog for a walk. The first action was it stopped raining. And the second one was we took our dog for a walk. Here you can see we are joining these two sentences in only one. And in this opportunity we are going to use just to emphasize that the other action started immediately the other finished. It had just stopped raining when, here we are using when to join both sentences, we took our dog for a walk. It had just stopped raining. Immediately it stopped raining, we took our dog for a walk. So we are just emphasizing that one action finished and the other started. Look at the position of just. Just is in the middle or between the auxiliary and the past participle of the verb. The same happened with already. Already, to emphasize that we had done an action before the other action started. We used to emphasize as well. For example, here we have two sentences. We called a taxi and we locked the door. We need to decide which action in the past took place first and which took place second. Let's say we called a taxi was first and we locked the door was second. It means that we need to express the first one in the past perfect and the second one using the simple past. For example, we are using he went to join both sentences. When we locked the door, we had already called a taxi. When we locked the door, and here we have the first action that took place, we had already called a taxi. We are emphasizing we have finished this action before this one when we locked the door. This is the second action, and that's why it is expressed in the simple past. The position of already is the same as just between the auxiliary and the past participle. Now you have some exercises. Complete please these sentences using the verbs that you have between parentheses. Thank you for watching and see you in another opportunity.